Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I am Diego Castro. President Bongbong Marcos has arrived in Washington for his 5-day working visit to the United States. Upon arrival, President Marcos said he plans to discuss the Mutual Defense Treaty between the Philippines and the U.S. during his bilateral meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden. This following the incident at the Ayungin Shoal, where a Philippine vessel almost collided with a Chinese vessel last April 23 due to a, quote, dangerous maneuver by the latter.
We're hoping to avoid that this time it was a little more dangerous because malapit na sila, talagang kamuntik na nagbanggaan, and that will cause a great many can cause casualties on both sides. That's exactly what we want to avoid.
President Marcos highlighted the need for the Mutual Defense Treaty to evolve. Given that the pact was signed over 70 years ago, Marcos Jr. believes that the treaty may no longer apply to issues the Philippines is facing today.
That's why I call it a continuing evolution, because we have to be able to respond to the situation as it happens. And if once the situation changes, we should also still be able to be responsive to that.
The PNP is deploying almost 60,000 personnel to ensure private safety and peace during Labor Day celebrations today. PNP Chief Police Benjamin Acorda says the deployment of police personnel will be enough to ensure order and security in all places of engagement. He also reminds all police officers to strictly observe the policy of maximum tolerance, respect for human rights, and adherence to police operational procedures. Some groups are expected to join Labor Day protests today in major cities like Manila and Cebu. These include the labor group Kilosang Mayo Uno that is criticizing the Marcos administration's alleged band-aid solutions to labor issues. They are also calling on the government to provide workers with higher wages and decent working conditions, among others.
By any other country, we will not allow that to happen. In terms of Oriental,
President Marcos, meanwhile, issues an executive order that creates an interagency committee to resolve labor cases in the country. This in a bid to meet standards of the International Labor Organization, or ILO. On Sunday, Labor Chief Bienvenido Laguesma says the committee will look into complaints of labor leaders and other workers with regard to freedom of association. On his way to the U.S., Marcos says he's directing concerned agencies to work together to address weaknesses in the country's labor system.
What it actually does is to instruct all the departments of government to work together on very specific issues. So yun ang in-address na natin with the EO. And I think that will put us in alignment to the international standards when it comes to labor relations.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. support for the Philippines over disputes in the West Philippine Sea. In a statement, the U.S. State Department called on China to stop harassing Philippine vessels in our exclusive economic zone. The State Department also warned about invoking mutual defense commitments should there be an armed attack against the Philippines. Meanwhile, Australian envoy to the Philippines, HKU, described China's move as dangerous and called for peace and stability in the disputed waters. The statements came after Chinese Coast Guard ship blocked a Philippine vessel from going to the Ayungin Shoal last week, almost causing a collision. 4 people are missing following a maritime incident off Tubataha, Palawan. The Coast Guard said it received a report about the sinking of a dive yacht, MY Dreamkeeper, on Sunday morning. The BRP Melchora Aquino was then immediately dispatched for search and rescue operations. According to the PCG, at least 28 people have been rescued, while 4 others remain missing. Meanwhile, the death toll in the collision of 2 foreign-flagged ships of Corregidor has climbed to 3. 2 crew members of Sierra Leone-flagged MV Hong Hai 189 are still missing. Gilas Pilipinas will go up against familiar foes in the upcoming FIBA World Cup in August. The Philippines will tangle anew with powerhouse Italy and the Dominican Republic in Group A of competitions. Gilas lost to these same 2 teams in the group stages of the previous edition of the World Cup in 2018. It also succumbed to the Dominican Republic back in the 2021 FIBA Olympic qualifiers in Belgrade, Serbia. Powerhouse Italy is number 10 in the FIBA World Rankings, while the Dominicans are 23rd. Angola, meanwhile, is right below the 40th ranked Philippines at 41st. Gilas coach Chot Reyes acknowledges the tall order at hand, but says he's more focused on forming the most competitive team possible for the world tilt. Gilas opens its campaign against the Dominicans on August 25 at the Philippine Arena in Bulacan.
Regardless, it's going to be a tough group. But after this draw, my attitude really is it's not ideal, but could have been better. I thought that last pick, I had wished it was Cote d'Ivoire instead of Angola, because Angola is tough. Not that Cote d'Ivoire isn't tough, but I think Angola is tougher. But like I said, it is what it is.
And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 7:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.